So, hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Jonnychipz Weekly. This is episode number 70 on Friday, the 29th of April, 2022. My name is John Lunn, aka Jonnychipz. This week's episode is entitled Long Weekend. Let's get to it. So yes, hey again everybody, and welcome to this week's episode. Thanks for tuning in, really is appreciated. So, usual format this week again with Jonnychipz Weekly. Lots going on, work is still there, it's on the rise, there's lots going on in the world. But it is a bank holiday weekend in the UK, so we've got an extra day off next week to look forward to. So, happy Friday, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for tuning in, like I say. Let's get to it. Let's do some community call-outs. Okay, so first up, Cloud Skills FM. So the awesome Mike Pfeiffer teamed up with Kevin Evans to have a look at Terify. So this is the new service that we can use to kind of backwards engineer our Azure subscriptions or Azure resource groups to compile a Terraform file, in code, and obviously get to that point where we've got that state and we can use that state to then update and modify any of our resources that we might have in our Azure subscriptions potentially. So really cool to see that. Kevin and Mike go through a replay here. So if you browse on over to the cloudskills_FM Twitter feed, look for this YouTube video and you can go and take a look at that. So thanks to the guys for having a quick look at that for us. Next up, we've had quite a lot of user group scenarios this week. So this is one that's been scheduled for the end of May with the awesome Mark Allen. So Azure Cloud Native, 31st of May. Mark Allen's going to be joining them to talk about Azure Container Apps. But Azure Cloud Native actually had their last session this week with Hugo Barona. So really looking at Dapper. So if you're interested in those areas, go and follow the team. I mean, Carl has retweeted this out for us. Who, as you know, Carl is one of the co-organisers of the user group. But head on over to the YouTube channels and take a look at that. They're all there for the replay. But put that other date in your diary for the 31st of May for the next event. Likewise, we've had the Bradford Cloud user group this week where they've had another awesome set of sessions. Go and tune in and rewatch that. That happened last night. I managed to miss it, as I normally do, because there's lots going on, as always, but go and show the team of the Bradford Cloud user group some support. Go and rewatch this session. Just checking out this tweet. They had Sophie Dimlo on, and they had Sam McDonnell on, and they had Usama Khan on. Go and show them some support and check out those sessions. In other news, Dean has retweeted here another user group that was on yesterday from the Microsoft Cloud Security user group, which is run by Charlie and Chris. They had Fabian Bader on talking about using external threat intelligence in Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, and they also had the awesome Marcel Lupo on to talk about how to automate Azure role-based access control, so that RBAC, using ADO, Azure DevOps. So, like I say, these were all events that have happened this week. There's been so much going on. Go and check those out. Go and follow and show some support. I'm sure the videos, if they're not up now, they're not going to be too far behind. And another event that happened this week, again on Wednesday this week, was the M365 Security and Compliance user group. So if you're not following any of these user groups, jump onto the Twitters, follow them, sign up RSVP to the events, because they're always some fantastic sources of information and education. So this week they had a couple of sessions on. They had Sabrina to talk around tips and tricks, started with information protection. Then they had Tim Hermy on to talk about, and Burkhan to talk about local admins on your devices, as in, should you be doing that? How do you control it? All those kind of things. So go and check those out. Like I say, there's been lots going on this week. Next up, Chris Reddington. Yeah, Chris has been back doing some blog articles. Thought I'd just reshare this because cloud native, and using containers and developing applications is something I'm working with, on a side project on every other Friday, doing a live stream looking at deploying those cloud native applications. Chris has set up a Go dev environment using Windows Subsystem for Linux, that WSL and VS Code, giving us a blog article around using that. And then he's got a blog article creating a local Dapper app using .NET and Azure Service Bus and or Storage Queue. So check them out. There's Chris's blog article. Go and sign up and show him some support. But he's also back doing some cool videos and his Tool Up Tuesdays as well. So go and give Chris a shout, follow, and get involved because he's doing some awesome stuff at the moment. Next up, Mr. Dar Shabazz is back with another series with Shannon Keane. This time it's on identity and governance. So they're up to episode 2, what, how, and why identity governance. So go and show some support. Follow Shabazz. Go and check that out. It's going to be an awesome series of videos all around that identity and governance piece. And of course, Shannon is an awesome force to be reckoned with in terms of Microsoft presence. And she's always got some fantastic content. Learned a lot over the years from those videos. So thank you, Shabazz and Shannon. Go and check those out, everybody. And yeah, like I say, just show your support. Next up, last night, again, this happened yesterday. Again, you can see it's double, triple, quadruple booked with events and things that were going on. So Mike Pfeiffer actually pulled together an Azure networking crash course, like an Azure networking 101 video last night that I want to go back and rewatch. I've done the AZ700 exam, which is fundamentally all that Azure networking stuff, but it's always cool to have these videos to kind of just rewatch, have a quick once over if you've not dealt with a specific feature or function or application service or whatever it may be. You don't deal with them on a daily basis unless you're in a really complicated project. But even then, it's always nice to sometimes go back and revisit some of the concepts, theories, just to kind of keep it fresh in your mind. So this is definitely on my to watch list. So if you're interested, go and check that out. But yeah, as always, you can expect good quality content from Mike, and go and check it out. Yes, Mr. Tracy, Jack Tracy, has got a call set up on Monday with the team behind the Azure Landing Zone concept. So there's a community call going out. There's the link. It's aka.ms/alz/community call. First off, he just asked for people to re-register because I think they had a problem with the link. But secondly, just to note that it is Bank Holiday Monday and they still got a call. So if you're that dedicated, which I'm sure everybody will be, jump on. Give your feedback. The team are looking for feedback on the Azure Landing Zones concepts that they've got out there at the moment. So those portal experience, the Terraform, and of course the Bicep, which might have something coming up about soon. So go and follow and support Jack and the team on that one. And like I say, get your feedback ready to send back through if you can. That'd be awesome. And finally, last bit of community call out is for Mr. Dwayne Natwick. This man is a machine in terms of book writing. The SC900 now, so the Security Fundamentals exam. If you are interested, Dwayne's next book is out for pre-order at the moment. I'm not sure if we know when it's coming out exactly. Maybe if we click on the link, we might get a hint. No, we don't have any hints. So it's there for pre-order, but I'm sure it's not going to be too long. And I'm sure, Dwayne, comment below if you know roughly when that's coming out. But if you are interested in looking at that book, go and check that out. Put it on pre-order. Get it there for ready to pass that exam. But there we go. For now, that has been the community call-outs for the week. Okie dokie. So next up, let's quickly delve into the wonderful world of the Azure user group. So yes, we had our last session, as I said, a week or so ago now, which was a fantastic session. We've scheduled our next session for the 18th of May. As I said last week, we've got two awesome speakers on yet again. Firstly, our friends from up north with Joe Hodkinson talking about the Azure Migrate and migrating workloads into Azure. So that's going to be a fantastic talk if you're looking to move those first workloads into from an on-prem or a private data center into the Azure cloud platform. So really looking forward to that. Then we've got Neil Hambley on to talk about Azure security fundamentals. So really taking it back down to that kind of core understandings maybe on, how do we move workloads to Azure? How do we secure them? Those two talks together should help anybody with, especially if you are starting off into the cloud and trying to understand some of these concepts and capabilities. Please do go and RSVP. Follow us on the Twitters, Welsh Azure, at Welsh Azure. And yes, love to show you support. That would be great. Just so that everybody's aware, all the Welsh Azure user group sessions actually get uploaded into the playlist below, which is under the playlist of Welsh Azure user group. And you can see there, you can go right the way back through our last, what is nearly 2 years. We are coming up to, we're just, probably about 20, 21 months, I think we're at now. So yeah, another couple of months we'll be at the 2-year anniversary of the Welsh Azure user group as it stands now. So yeah, looking forward to that, and probably have to do something for that. Drop us some ideas. What should we do for our 2-year anniversary? Anyhow, let's get back to it. That's the Welsh Azure user group news for this week. Okie doke. So as always, there's been lots that I've had going on the side this week. So yeah, let's jump in and talk about it, because there's been quite a few interesting things happen this week. First up, I managed to land on the front page of the Spotlight on the UK MS Build page, which was awesome. As you can see there, I was asked to do a little spoiler video or intro video in terms of Microsoft Build, which is happening soon. It's happening from the 20, I believe it's 24th, 25th, or 23rd, 24th, 25th. In fact, if I probably clicked on that link there, it would tell me the exact dates, but it's the 24th to the 26th of May. So we've got 3 weeks or so. Yeah, go and register. But the point is, as my good friend Matt Fatunka has tweeted there, I ended up on a video, which I was, really shocked and chuffed by at the same time. So with, awesome people around me there. So April Edwards, Chris Reddington and Salmon. So go and check that out. It's a nice little video there, just kind of introduce you to the fact that there's going to be a UK Spotlight this year at Microsoft Build on the 25th of May, which is the middle day. So the 24th, 25th, 26th. I believe that the middle day is kind of like a spotlight for the locale that you happen to live in. So yeah, hoping to be a part of that in some form. So go and register, sign up for MS Build, and yeah, come and say hello. Moving on, yeah, also last week I managed to jump on a Twitter Spaces call around, taking those first initial steps into the cloud. It was for the Azure developer community based in India. Managed to get quite a few listeners on there and a few questions talking around, taking those first steps into the cloud. So thank you for the opportunity to come on and speak to the community on that front. It was a great sort of 40-minute conversation. So thank you for that. Next up, yeah, like I said, I alluded to earlier, I had a fantastic catch up with Jack last night, really all around the Azure landing zones with Bicep. So might have a video dropping fairly soon on that. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. It was a great video, some great learnings that Jack walked me through there. So yeah, thanks to Jack on that one, and yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Also last week we had the schooled in video with Kevin Evans on the AKS Bicep Accelerator. So deploying deploying AKS into your Azure tenant using this AKA accelerator written with Bicep, in Bicep effectively. So it's deploying effectively an AKS cluster and setting it up with initial parameters and configuration that you can run with that. I think you can actually deploy some test apps to that as well using this accelerator. So Kevin kind of walked me through it in this video. So please do go and check that out if that's of interest to you. But as always, it's Friday. Huge shout out to my guest last week on In Convo with Freak Person. So that was a fantastic chat all around AVD, Bicep, community, all that good stuff. And, obviously Freak's book as well on Bicep, getting started with Bicep. Please do go and check that out if you've missed that video. But like I say, it is Friday, so we've got another episode out tonight, and it's with none other than the awesome Gethin Ellis. So Gethin joins me tonight. We talk all things data. Gethin is very firmly in the data landscape, and we have a bit of a discussion around that, kind of understanding the concepts and what's going on in the data space in terms of, how do we kind of bring all of those different levels and areas of information stored potentially, across many business units, many data centers, bring them into a centralized area to do some, transform, load, transform, and run them through maybe some machine learning and look at that from an analysis point of view. So really good chat with Gethin. And like I say, that's out tonight, 6:30 p.m. GMT. If you want to go and watch that would be awesome. Please do drop us some comments as well if you do. And finally, Kitten Watch. As you may or may not know, we had a litter of kittens delivered to us a few weeks back. Just thought I'd throw up this awesomely cute picture of a kitten. So I'll leave that there for you for a moment. But that's my hashtag Kitten Watch. Doing well. Probably only got a few more weeks left with us before we found them all homes already. So we'll, obviously get them to the point now where they're weaned off their mum and we can find them good homes. But yeah, very cute. Like I say, it's Friday. It's Friday and it's a long weekend. So, look, have a great weekend wherever you are. Just look forward to it. Use your time the best that you can. So there we go. That's Jonnychipz on the side for this week. Okie doke. So it's that time of the show again where we have to break into the news and I hunt round for my news button. So let's go do it. Let's go and have a look at the Azure news and updates for this week. And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Azure News and Updates for the week. We've got a plethora of updates for you this week, both GAs and out in preview. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump straight on in. Like I say, we've got quite a lot to get through. So let's rattle through these as quickly as we can then. So first up, GA controls to block domain fronting behavior on customer resources. So effective as of today, you'll be able to stop allowing any of that domain fronting behavior. So that ability to circumvent any kind of censored data or domain information, and you can the idea is, I think, within a TLS header, you can put in a secondary domain that kind of bypasses any checks and sends you off to forbidden areas potentially. So it's like a bit of a workaround domain fronting if you've never come across it. Have a little read about it. But Microsoft are introducing controls on Front Door Classic, Azure CDN Standard. And that's about it by the looks of things at the moment. Basically, to block any domain fronting. So that's cool to see some more security features. So go and check that out if that's of interest. Next up, public preview Azure Container Apps built-in authentication for Microsoft Azure Container Apps. Let's have a look. Azure Container Apps, a service for building and deploying modern applications and microservices using serverless containers, now supports built-in authentication. So when it's enabled, end users can sign into their container apps by writing little or no code using one or more configured identity providers. So supported identity providers include, as you'd expect, Azure Active Directory, GitHub, and Twitter. You can also integrate with any identity provider that supports OpenID Connect. So it's currently in public preview. Go and check that out. There's awesome stuff going on around the world of container apps at the moment. So yes, go and check that out. Next up, GA, Group Managed Service Accounts, security policy support on Windows. GMSA is a secure mechanism to provide AD authentication to Kubernetes on workloads on Windows. This is done without having to use machine accounts and by joining your AKS nodes to an Active Directory. Okay. Next up, Node Pool Snapshot has gone GA. So if you want to take a snapshot of your configuration of your node pool, then you can and you can create new node pools or clusters based off that snapshot. That's generally available now, so you can go and do that if you need to. Scale down mode in AKS has gone GA. So when a node is deallocated, the attached storage as well as the container image is still present on the node. So when scaling up your deployments, all deallocated nodes will be started first before provisioning new nodes. So it allows for faster operation speeds as your deployments leverage those cached images. Scale down mode allows you to no longer have to pre-provision nodes and to pre-pull container images. Cool. Public preview, Azure Static Web Apps now supports skipping API builds. Okay. More public preview, Static Web Apps now supports GitLab and Bitbucket for CI/CD. Public preview, Azure Functions now supports PowerShell 7.2, so that's in preview now. If you're using PowerShell in Azure Functions, 7.2 is in preview. Azure Storage as a share in Windows code in App Service is in public preview. So Azure App Service now supports mounting Azure files as a local share in Windows code in public preview. This complements existing file share support for Linux containers and Windows containers. So GA, unique partial indexes in Azure Cosmos DB API for MongoDB. Generally available Azure Synapse link now supports existing Azure Cosmos DB containers. More GA, Azure Cosmos DB portal, the Azure Synapse link seamless. Power BI, so you can visualize your Azure Cosmos DB data in near real time seamlessly using the integrated Power BI experience in the Azure Cosmos DB portal. Azure Synapse link allows you to build Power BI reports and dashboards with no performance or cost impact to your transactional workloads or ETL pipelines. You can use direct query with Power BI to query live data from your Cosmos DB accounts without importing or copying the data into Power BI. That's pretty cool. Okay, GA, database templates in Azure Synapse Analytics. Okay. Public preview of Azure Managed Instance for Apache Cassandra enhancements. GA, Azure Database for Postgres SQL Hyperscale Citus now includes PG Bouncer 1.17. I love these headers. I love them. I love them. There's lots of words that I don't know what they mean, but I love them. PG Bouncer, I knew I've read that before. A popular Postgres connection pooling tool is part of the Azure Database for Postgres SQL Hyperscale Citus, and it's now being updated to version 1.17. So if you are using that, drop me a comment. Fill me in with some more education. Next up, generally available, Azure Database for MySQL Flexible Server Higher Burstable Compute. Good to see. Bunch of public preview announcements for Azure SQL. Mainly Azure SQL Database Hyperscale now supports point-in-time restore for up to 35 days. SQL GA announcements for this month is around track and record changes in your Azure SQL databases through change data capture. Go and check that out. GA, Azure SQL database storage limits increase for selected computer sizes. So data storage limits in Azure SQL database have increased from 1.5 terabytes to 2 terabytes for single databases, and elastic pools configured with 8 and 10 vCores. So any workloads requiring up to 2 terabytes of storage can now reduce costs by not having to increase the compute size beyond 8 vCores. Good to see. More public preview, Azure Compute Gallery features, Community Gallery. So share private VM images with the broader Azure community using Azure Compute Gallery. So that's in public preview at the minute. So you can create a gallery and share it across with other Azure customers at the moment. So as a result, Azure customers can deploy VMs and scale sets via the portal, CL, and REST API using images that other people have published. GA, Azure Functions Linux Elastic Premium Plan increased maximum scale-out limits. Good to see. More public preview, Azure Lab Services in April 2022 updates. There's a whole bunch of updates there for lab services if you are using that. And finally, generally available automated key rotation in Azure Key Vault. So with the Azure Key Vault automated key rotation feature, which is now GA, you can set a rotation policy on a key to schedule automated rotation and configure expiry notifications through event grid integrations. So this feature enables end-to-end zero-touch key rotation for Azure services, data encryption with customer managed keys stored in the Azure Key Vault. Automated key rotation feature will be billed per scheduled rotation, and you can learn about pricing if you jump over to the calculator or go onto the Azure Key Vault page. So there we go. There's our news and updates for this week. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and let's head on back over. So there we have it. Thank you, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic weekend coming up. Thanks for tuning in. Please do like and subscribe to the channel if you like these videos. Give us a comment and let us know what you think. Or if you've got anything that you want to educate me on anything you've heard me talk about today. That would be awesome. Thank you to everybody across the community for all your awesome work, as always. But for now, I've been John Lunn. I'll see you all next week. Bye for now.